Jungkook stared at Yin, who was crying on their porch. It was always like this. Yin always cried whenever he returned from dropping off his girlfriend. Jungkook wanted to hug her, but he had to restrain himself. He had to remember the boundaries set by his father for the two of them, considering they had been step-siblings since Jungkook was in his second year of middle school and Yin was in 6th grade of elementary school. In the beginning, everything went smoothly. There were no obstacles or difficulties. However, when Jungkook entered his second year of high school, his beautiful sister had changed in his eyes. Jungkook no longer saw her as a little sister. He saw Yin as the sweet girl who unfortunately was slowly stealing his heart. Jungkook had even taken a hard hit when his father found out he had feelings for Yin, despite her being his stepsister. Since then, Jungkook had been looking for other girls to figure out whether what he felt for Yin was real love or just an excessive fondness. And here he was, watching Yin cry in front of them all. Jungkook. His father approached him, the man who had married Yin's mother, making them step-siblings. "Did you make your sister cry again?" "No, Dad, it wasn't me." "Then who?" "Remember, you and she are siblings. Get rid of all those feelings you have towards her. Got it?" Jungkook rolled his eyes in frustration. If only his father hadn't read his journal book, he wouldn't be banned from teasing her. "I know, I'm not blind or deaf." "Jungkook." His father raised his voice, startling Yin, who immediately stood up and went inside the house. "Jungkook, Dad, let me take you to your bedroom." Jungkook approached her and gently placed his arm around her shoulders. "Dad, I'm going to take Yin to her bedroom. Good night. Sleep well." Jungkook looked his father straight in the eyes, which were glaring at him intensely. "Isn't this a big brother's duty?" Jungkook smiled and walked past his father with a slightly mocking smirk. That boy, how can he love his own sister? "Hubby, let's go to bed. It's late." Yin's mother gently patted Jungkook's father's shoulder. He nodded and once again glanced at Yin and Jungkook's bedrooms on the second floor of their house. "Darling, if there is another life, what would you wish for?" "Huh? Why?" It's nothing. Let's go to bed." "If there is a second life, I would strive to unite your love, my son. That is what I truly want to do." "Why are you crying?" Jungkook gently brushed Yin's swollen eyes tenderly from crying. "Oh, it's nothing. Did you get dumped again?" Yin looked down. Truthfully, her yexies were just hired men. They were all gay and all good friends of hers. Yin was lying to Jungkook, saying she was crying because her ex left her. In reality, she cried because she couldn't stand the pain and didn't know how long she could endure the ache in her chest every time she saw him with his girlfriends. "Yes, I got dumped again." Jungkook sighed and looked at her straight on, wondering how long she would keep crying over those worthless guys who kept dumping her. He took her hand and stroked it. If only he could be in a relationship with her, even if it was forbidden. He promised he would make her happy. Definitely. But Jungkook was afraid that Yin didn't love him and only saw him as an older brother. "Which one do you want me to hit? Why won't you let me hit them?" "You can't. They're important to me, so you can't hurt them." "Absolutely not." He stood up and gently tapped her forehead. His head now felt like it was about to explode. "If I were your boyfriend, I'd make you happy, Yin. I'd propose to you, marry you and be with you until we grow old together." He looked at her, whose face was now even redder. "Please, don't cry anymore." "Yeah, if only I really were your girlfriend." She nodded and chuckled softly, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It sounded more like self-pity. In truth, she wanted to cry as she said that. Jungkook turned away from her, feeling guilty that they were born to be step-siblings. He felt guilty about the fate that brought them together as step-siblings and not as a couple. "Well, see you tomorrow. Don't forget, you have to be ready before I am. We're going to school together. Good night, Chatterbox." Yes, she attended the same high school as him. They always went to school together. Right now, Yin is a first-year student and Jungkook is a third-year student. "Now go to sleep. Don't cry anymore, or I'll kill that person who made you cry." "Yes, boss." Jungkook waved before closing her bedroom door. He sighed and looked up at the ceiling of the house. "Yin, fall in love with me, so I can take you away. We'll be happy and live where no one will forbid us from loving each other. Please, fall in love with me." Yin looked sadly at the door Jungkook had closed. If they weren't step-siblings, would Jungkook really make her happy as a boyfriend? Would he be her life partner until the end? She looked down and smiled bitterly. She loved him, her own step-brother, and because of this forbidden love, her mother had hit her and forced her to forget this feeling she had never experienced before. "How can I let you kill the person who makes me cry when the one making me cry is you, Jungkook?" Again, Yin sobbed. Even though Jungkook had told her to go to sleep, the pain in her heart overcame her drowsiness. She stared straight ahead, her gaze distant. What should I do, God? I love my brother more and more each day. But we can't and shouldn't be together. God, help me. Help me forget him. I beg you. A few days later, Jungkook will continue his studies in England and you are not allowed to argue. Jungkook, I don't want to. Jungkook stared sharply at his father before turning to look at Yin, who was silent. He really didn't want to be separated from Yin. Your graduation exams are coming up soon, and you want to be a doctor, right? England is the best country for your major, Jungkook. Dad, I've already said I don't want to go. Jungkook, you, hubby. Yin's mother shook her head when she saw her husband standing up, almost ready to hit Jungkook. Why? Why do you always want to send me abroad? Why do you always want to drive me away from my own homeland and home? I don't want to. I never will. Jungkook stood up and left the room, going into his bedroom. He wasn't going to open the door for anyone who tried to come in. That boy? So rebellious and stubborn. My whole body aches just thinking about his future. And him? Did you see his response? Eugene massaged his neck while speaking and looking at his wife. Meanwhile, Yin kept her head down, trying to control the trembling in her hands that hadn't stopped out of fear of seeing her father and Jungkook fight in front of her. Her head lifted when her mother called her. Yin, you're our only hope. Only you can persuade him to study in England. Yin looked back and forth between her mother and father before nodding. She wasn't foolish. She knew her parents were trying to separate them. Since her mother had discovered she loved her own stepbrother, this was the best way to keep them apart. Though it hurt, if this was her parents' request, Yin would do it, definitely, because she didn't want Jungkook to keep getting hit by their father. I'll try. She stood up and smiled gently at both her parents before finally leaving the room and walking up to the second floor where her bedroom and Jungkook's bedroom were located. Jungkook. Yin kept knocking on Jungkook's door for the umpteenth time, but Jungkook still refused to open it. Don't bother me, Yin, especially you. He shouted from inside his bedroom. Yin sighed and quickly went down the stairs, heading outside to climb the tree right next to his window. Jungkook, I'm at the window, come here. Yin waved when she saw Jungkook lying on his bed. Hearing her voice, he immediately got up and glared at Yin, sitting on the tree, waving at him. Oh, my God, get down, Yin, get down now. Come on, you can get here from your bedroom, right? It's been a while since we sat here. Come on, hurry up. She raised her eyebrows and laughed, while Jungkook sighed heavily, climbing out of his window to step onto the tree branch close to his window and approach her. Get down now. I don't want to. I miss sitting up here, so don't forbid me or ask me to get down, okay? Oh, my God, Yin, you're being reckless. Do you know how dangerous this is? Shh. She covered his lips with her hands and giggled as Jungkook wiped his mouth, seeing that her hands were dirty from the tree bark. Yin then leaned on his shoulder, looking straight into his bedroom. Don't fight with mom and dad, okay? Go to England, become a great doctor and come back with pride. Yin took his hand and held it tightly. After that, you must be happy. You must. But, for now, can I be selfish and ask you to make our parents happy? Are you trying to kick me out too? I'm not trying to kick you out. Jungkook, if I could ask, I'd want you to stay here forever. But this is a request from mom and dad, the people who raised us. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Her voice started to tremble, and she fought hard to keep herself from crying. Jungkook looked at her and tightened his grip on their joined hands. Are you ready to feel the longing? I guess I have to be ready to feel it. In that case, I'll go to England. Then I'll make you proud and happy. Yin smiled and nodded happily. That promise, made by two high school students up in a tree, gave Jungkook the strength to go to England, study and become a successful student. But sadly, that promise had to be broken because Jungkook was forced to accept an arranged marriage set up by his father. It seemed his father had really planned everything to separate him and Yin from their forbidden love. Being with Yin was his dream, but his father complicated things by making him marry a young doctor who was not his type at all. 5 years later. So, how's the wedding planning going? It's only 2 days away. Yin approached Jungkook, looking directly at him. Upon hearing her voice, Jungkook immediately turned to face her. His beloved girl now looked very beautiful and mature. Yin had become an architect. It's going smoothly, he replied and glanced at her bare finger, while he was now adorned with an engagement ring. When will you follow suit? When are you going to get engaged to a man? You first. Once you're happy, then I'll follow and find happiness with the man I love. She sat down next to him. Though she seemed happy and tried to laugh in front of him, her heart was truly breaking. Yes, she still couldn't rid herself of her love for her stepbrother. Waiting for me to be happy is going to be tough, Yin. All this time, Jungkook had been aware that Yin also had feelings for him, but he didn't fully understand how deep her feelings really were. If only Yin would be honest and tell him that she loved him just as much, he would take extreme measures to save their forbidden love. The problem was that Jungkook saw Yin seemingly surrendering to her own feelings, not showing any willingness to fight together. Please tell me not to marry that woman and I'll take you away right now. Jungkook hoped Yin would say that, but what he heard was different. Be happy with your wife, so I can be happy seeing your happiness. Jungkook just remained silent, staring at her as she stood up. I have to go now. I have work to do. I hope your wedding goes well. She said this as she left him, who stood there helplessly. He sighed, before finally deciding to go inside and climb the stairs to his bedroom. However, without realizing it, his feet stopped in front of Yin's bedroom. Jungkook, unaware, had opened his beloved sister's bedroom. At first, he just wanted to look around, but his eyes stopped at the purple book on her desk. Slowly, Jungkook approached the book, sat at her study desk and began to read through its pages one by one. As Jungkook finished reading, he was shocked to learn that Yin still couldn't forget her feelings for him. She even cried over their fate that kept them apart. Yes, Yin loved him just as much as he loved her. Damn, I thought I was the only one who loved her this much, but it turns out she does too. Jungkook said softly, trying to hold back his tears, but suddenly, Jungkook, please stop. Yin's mother approached Jungkook and held his hand, preventing him from putting away Yin's diary. I already know. Your father and I know everything. I even knew about your proposal to Yin a year ago. It wasn't just a joke, even though you made it seem like one in front of everyone. I know you were serious. I know you both truly love each other, deeply, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that in this lifetime, you and Yin can't be together. I apologize. Jungkook fell silent and sat down on the floor, feeling drained, while Misook began to cry, watching him whom she had come to see as her own son, so devastated. It wasn't her or her husband's intention to cruelly separate them, but fate was not favoring their love. Mom, what should I do? I truly love your daughter. Unconsciously, he began to shed tears. While he could only express anger and frustration in front of his father, now, in front of Misook, a woman he had come to see as his own mother, he felt vulnerable and fragile. He didn't even realize he was crying in front of her. Forgive me, Jungkook. I can't support your love. Forgive us. Misook gently stroked his head, trying to comfort him, even though she knew he wouldn't find peace. Here is Jungkook. In front of many guests, including Yin, he uttered the sacred vows of marriage that he should have said to Yin. He glanced at Yin, sitting far behind the event, also staring at him. Jungkook wonders what Yin is thinking now, whether she is thinking about him. Meanwhile, Yin stares straight at him from a distance, gazing at his happiness, which has now become the source of her deepest pain. Trying to let go of the person who has always been there for her, who has always embraced her and gently wiped away her tears when she cried. Yin has to let go of Jungkook. That's her promise to herself. Now the event is starting to loosen up and many are offering congratulations, until finally Yin is now standing in front of Jungkook to congratulate him on his marriage and his wife. But Jungkook instead grabs her hand, slightly moving them away from his wife while she's still busy receiving congratulations from her peers. She's beautiful, isn't she? What do you think? Huh? My wife. Is she beautiful? Yin immediately turns to look at the bride, and her gaze returns to Jungkook, who is now looking at his wife. She smiles despite her heartache. Since long ago, she should have let go of him, or else she would feel the same pain as when she saw Jungkook escorting his previous lovers home. But the difference is that the pain now runs deeper and leaves a lifelong mark. Yes, she's beautiful, very beautiful. How long are you going to keep this up, Yin? What do you mean? How long are you going to lie? How long are you going to pretend like you don't love me, hiding your feelings, hiding your tears which weren't because of your gay lover but because of me? How long? What do you mean, Jungkook? Don't lie anymore, Yin. I know everything now. Turns out you still can't forget me? You've tried countless times to bury your feelings for me, but never succeeded. What do you expect, Jungkook? What else can we do? You rejected my proposal last year. You proposed in front of our parents. I've been punished by my mother since I liked you, Jungkook. You're my sin. This love is my sin. Yin walks away quickly, intending to leave him, but Jungkook grabs her hand forcefully, preventing her from leaving. Why didn't you accept my proposal? If only you had. We could have run away. I would have taken you anywhere where no one would oppose our relationship. Yin now realizes that people around them are gathered and watching them both. Jungkook is truly out of his mind right now, and Yin has to snap him out of it. Finally, without realizing it, Yin raises her right hand and slaps his face hard. Yes, I love you. I'm sinning because I love you. I'm at fault because I should have known my place as your younger sibling. I cry because I'm jealous of every girl who was once your girlfriend. Angry at myself for never being able to erase my love for you until now. Even now, I still love you. If that's the case, why didn't you accept my proposal? Our parents forbade us from loving each other. I'm forced to break my own heart. I'm forced to forget you with my own mind. If only I accepted your proposal, could our parents be happy seeing us married? Yin is now crying loudly, her intention to reason with and calm Jungkook, but now she's more hysterical. Why? Why does loving you become a sin? Why? Why do I have to love you? And why can't I forget you? Jungkook now kneels and joins in crying, embracing her knees. Forgive me, Yin. Forgive me. It's not your fault. Live happily now. Make your wife happy. Make your family happy. Yin wipes her tears firmly and leaves the room with a heavy heart. And from that moment on, Yin never saw Jungkook again. They both chose to move to another country and promised never to meet again, keeping their love deep inside. And Yin never had a husband. She couldn't love another man besides him. Jungkook also lived alone because he eventually divorced his wife. They never knew what happened in each other's lives. All they knew was they loved the right person at the wrong time. They only hoped that in their next lives, they would not be born into the same family, whether as siblings or step-siblings. Baby, 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 wake up. Yin opens her eyes and looks at the man, gently tapping her face. His expression is deeply concerned. Are you having a nightmare? Yin just nods and immediately hugs tightly the man beside her. Yes. Do you want me to get you a drink? Don't leave. Don't leave me. I need you more than I need a drink. She tightens her embrace around Jungkook, her husband. He smiles faintly and gently strokes his wife's head. What did you dream about? A very terrifying and scary dream. Did you dream of ghosts? Because last week we went to a haunted house attraction? Yin immediately shakes her head vigorously. No, I dreamt that we were step-siblings and you married another woman in front of me. Why would you dream something so terrible, baby? I would never leave you. Yin remains silent, still pouting her lips within his embrace, but Jungkook's next words manage to startle her and send shivers down her spine. Even if fate decides otherwise, I would definitely run away with you, to a place where nothing can separate our love. Instantly, Yin releases her embrace and looks directly at her husband's face. Where did you get an idea like that? Why would you think about running away with me even though we were born as siblings? Because if such a fate were to happen, I would do it. If we both had immense love, I would definitely run away with you to a place where no one can separate us.